Welcome along everyone to the brand new Atlantis Eire YouTube channel. This is the channel where we interview lots of people in the world of holistics, and today we are joined by Martin Robbins, a shamanic healer and an author as well. Welcome along, Martin.
Yeah, thanks, Albert.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Also an author of a very good book, A Concise Guide to a Life on Earth. And also you are a columnist with the Atlantis Eire Holistic Health and Celtic Spirit magazine. Martin, very welcome along. Shamanic healer.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
Geez, it's a long story. Okay. I worked as a chef for a long time, most of my life, and got into changing my career fairly late on, and trained as a massage therapist, and into Reiki. And I just saw that as a stepping stone, really, into something else, but I wasn't really sure what that might be. And then one day I just kind of found myself in Waterstone's bookshop, standing outside the Shamanic book section, and this book just fell off the shelf, Shaman Healer Sage by Alberto Villoldo, and it was talking about a shaman in the Amazon jungle working on energy lines of a person. And the Alberto, he took photographs of he going to draw on the body in the wife's lipstick, the lines that he could see. Took photographs of those of the lines. Took them back to the States, and they compared exactly with shiatsu line charts. And that blew me away, because I was working in Thai massage at the time, so energy lines and acupressure points were all familiar, but they came from India and Thailand. How can somebody in the Amazon jungle have the same knowledge? Mm-hmm. So that was the starting point for me to look more into that, and it really resonated as well. It was something I felt I really needed to explore.
So it's a calling as such, maybe.
Well, it brought everything else together, and it made real sense as a real progression from where I was. So I did a kind of weekend introductory course, and it was almost like it was familiar, and it really resonated, and I knew that this was what I wanted to do. Take my life into.
In not so many words, just for the people that are tuned into this channel, explain what a shaman is. We won't just. Give us in a few sentences what a shaman is and what are the benefits of getting a shamanic healing.
Well, in traditional society, shamanism comes from indigenous cultures all over the world, and the indigenous tribes would have a shaman who would be the storyteller, the keeper of the myths and legends of the tribe, the creation stories, and the healer of people, because although the whole culture would embrace the shamanic beliefs, the shaman was more adept at actually accessing the energy around us, which is the receptacle, if you like, for spirit, the spirit of everything that has ever been before. So he could go into there and get information to help and bring back to help the tribes and individuals.
One of your loves is art, and one of your loves is to write as an author, and an author of the book Concise Guide to a Life on Earth, which is available in stores right across the country. Mm-hmm. You connect in very well, so your writing and your shamanism, it's a very smooth connection.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a creative kind of person all my life, and that has, as my shamanic practice has evolved, my connection with my spirit guides has evolved, and I'm being nudged all the time into doing, inspired and nudged into little directions, and ideas pop up in my head of what I need to do and how to do things, and it's almost like a two-way collaboration when I'm doing it.
Constant learning process then.
Well, it is really, yeah. It just enable. I mean, the whole business of the practice is to go beyond your comfort zone all the time,
So it's an evolution.
and really, really keep moving,
Yeah.
moving forward in whatever you're doing.
The
Keep
constant
moving forward.
evolution of, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're a columnist with the Atlantis Eire Holistic Health and Celtic Spirit magazine. You've wrote some fantastic articles in the magazine, and you will go on to write an article in issue 7, which is due out on the 1st of April this year. Tell us a little bit about the article you're going to write in issue 7.
Yeah, it's going to be about post-traumatic stress disorder. It's something that I've been interested in for a long time, and when I began my training, my shamanic, I did a 2-year training, first of all in the UK. When we got to, there's a number of, the training I did was core, it was called core shamanism. And it was facilitated by the Sacred Trust, who is like the UK faculty for the Foundation of Shamanic Studies in the UK, in the USA, which was set up by Michael Harner. He spent like 20 years with various tribes in the South American jungles, working with them, observing their practices, and he observed that although cultures would embellish what they were doing with their rituals and ceremonies and practices, there was a number of core practices that all cultures had it was at the seed of their practice.
So no matter what, whether you're Aboriginal or you're Peruvian or Native American,
Eskimos,
it's a core,
whatever it might be,
it's a core.
So the two big bodies of shamanic healing: extraction and soul retrieval. And when I began working with soul retrieval, it became really evident that this was a real strong piece of work that would really benefit people with post-traumatic stress.
And just quickly, just to cut you there for a second, explain soul retrieval.
Well, it's a method for restoring the loss of parts of ourselves that has happened during trauma. And we've all had kind of trauma in our life. It might have been falling off a bike when we were a kid and not being looked after properly and feeling kind of abandoned or humiliated, right through to the spectrum of serious abuse. And what it is a part of our spirit, a part of our soul will leave us as a defense mechanism. So we don't feel the full force of the trauma or the pain, and we can survive. We kind of gather ourselves together and we can work through the trauma and carry on. Soul retrieval, but then of course that leaves us with something missing, as a part of our. We're not whole in ourselves. So there's a piece missing. So that can lead us to this endless search to fill that gap. In addictions, constantly traveling, moving and traveling, and all kinds of issues that offer a instant gratification, but no long-term solution. So we're always looking for something else. We're always looking for that next piece. And the soul retrieval technique is the shaman would go in search of those pieces, because they leave us and go into the energy of around us. Psychotherapists, psychologists will call it dissociation. We dissociate from the trauma.
Soul fragmentation.
Yes, it's the same.
Just explain to us, the shaman will go and try and regather those fragments of the soul that have left.
Yes.
So you are on a journey to get this.
It's called a shamanic journey. So the drum changes, the fast drum beat changes the theta brain waves, and we drop into a semi-trance state. Using our intention, we can then send our awareness into this energy. And we operate in this reality because of the way our brains are wired. That's the only way we can operate. But by just slightly changing that, we can operate in another reality,
Another
which we
reality.
can't actually see right now because of the way our brains are wired right now.
We can see. Yeah.
But then when we get into that space, we're able to find the missing soul parts very clearly. You might see a 5-year-old piece standing there, 30-year-old piece standing there,
Sure.
whatever it might be, in a scenario
Yeah.
that caused their soul loss in the first place. So I would get a story around that and feel the emotions and ask them questions, and if they're ready to come back, if they're ready to return, then I would bring them back.
And your spirit guides are helping with that as well, obviously.
Spirit guides are, yes.
Yeah, excellent.
It's very important to have a spirit guide with you to
Fantastic,
support that.
fantastic. It's a fascinating thing. Soul retrieval is a fascinating thing indeed. Martin, we're going to ask you about your CD.
Okay.
Here's Martin's CD, which is soon enough going to be available right around the country, I would imagine.
Oh, it is. It's in fact it's spreading.
It is spreading
slowly around the world.
Around the
In fact,
world.
There's occasional copies popping up everywhere.
Sure. It's nice chatting to you, Martin. Martin, as we said, is a regular columnist with the magazine. We're looking forward to your contribution to issue 7. Have you anything else you want to talk about?
Well, yeah. The article, in fact, is really important. The beginning of that, because
Sure.
my teacher at the time, what inspired this is he was working in Bath, living in Bath, which is the home of the Prince Charles Regiment,
Okay.
and who had fought in the Iraq War, and he managed to get a notice put on the notice board offering his services, healing services, and it was there for some time, a few months, and then one night he had this hammering on the door, and he opened the door. There's this man mountain standing in the doorway, this huge Marine, Sergeant Major Marine, talking, all right sir, talking like this sir, right sir, and he came in, and this guy had his best friend had his head blown off right next to him in the wall.
Okay.
Boom, bang, and so there's massive trauma. And using sort of soul retrieval technique, teacher not only help restore him and heal him, he opened the floodgates for a lot of other soldiers to come as well, and as a result of that, the result of their healing, they then went on to become shamanic healers themselves, which is incredible.
Incredible, yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
Absolutely. This is the new YouTube channel, as you know, Martin, so we'll do regular interviews, and we interview everyone that is involved in the publication of the magazine and all the issues that are coming down the line as well. This is issue 6. It's available in all ESONs across the country. It's available in newsagents. It's available in lots of stores right around the country. And also you can get it online, www.atlantiseire.ie. For postal subscription or for digital download, it's available on Amazon Kindle as well. Martin Robbins, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm going to shake your hand.
Thank you, Aldo.
Thank you very much. And lots more interviews coming up very soon on the channel.